All right.
What's up, everybody? Another episode of the Trailblazers podcast. We have not recorded for quite a while. I think 3 weeks, 3 weeks without anything, but we're coming in strong. We're coming back, always trying to get new, interesting guests. And this week we got Drew. How you doing, my man?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. We were talking a little bit here offline, getting to know a little bit more about ourselves and stuff. And yeah, I'm happy to have you here, man. I'm excited for this episode.
Yeah, me too. I always wanted to get on a podcast, and so it's awesome to be here.
Yep, yep. I hope we don't set the bar too high for the next ones, you know.
Yeah, definitely, man.
But yeah, we were talking, and you were talking a little bit about how you got into the cause sneaker colliding pretty much. Now you collect sneakers as an enthusiast, as you say on your Instagram page and all that.
hmm
But how did it start? How did it start for you?
Yeah, so from what we were talking about before, I used to live in Queens, New York, and
Yeah.
I went to school out there, and I had some friends. So I never It's not like I was born and, my parents knew about sneakers and I got all the cool shoes or
Mm,
anything. Um, I was always simple with it. Skechers, Vans, whatever it was, Payless
yeah.
shoes. Until one day a buddy of mine was just like, "Yo, man, like you need some you need some cool shoes, man." Because my buddy was always, he was in the street. You know what I mean? Like he had
Yeah.
like I was an only child, so I wasn't out in the street. I was just home. So he knew
Mm,
the cool things that were out. So he introduced me to the Air Force. So my first shoe was an Air Force One, um, classic shoe. You can't go wrong with it. Um, and yeah, so that was definitely my first shoe. The first time I got introduced to it, I think I was in maybe sixth grade.
mm,
So it's still pretty early, pretty young.
yeah. Yeah.
Um, and that's definitely how I got introduced. And I was telling you before, I wore them down. Like,
Yeah.
I just wore them, creases, everything. They became all soft. Um,
Yeah.
and then he told me, he goes, "Hey man, like you gotta clean them or toss them because those aren't looking good anymore." And
Yeah.
they were all uneven. And eventually,
That's a good friend to have.
yeah, yeah, like he was good, definitely. And it's crazy because he's not even into shoes anymore, and he was the one
Oh,
who kind of
really?
put me on. Yeah,
Yeah.
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 So now he's a cop in Philly.
Okay.
He's
No longer colliding the shoes.
Nah, he still has some. He'll get some, um, but nowhere near like how I am obsessed with them. You know what I
Mm,
mean? So,
yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah. And I did see on your page that most of your shoes are the Air. You have the Air Maxes there. You have the Air Jordans, and you have a lot of those. Are those like your favorite brand, or is it because of the emotional connection? Like your first shoe was the Air Max. Is that the reason, or you just fuck with the shoes too much?
I that might be it. Honestly, I never even thought of it. Could be that connection. Um,
Yeah.
I was just always a Nike guy, and I think later on I was just like, I can get other shoes. And I had other shoes. I bought like other Adidas before Kanye went to Adidas. Um,
Mm,
I also worked at Foot Locker in high school, so that helped me a
oh,
lot.
no.
Yeah, so I always got my discount. Um, I was actually at a Foot Locker store the other day talking to an employee, and I was just curious. I was like, "Man, do you still get, your 30% discount?" He goes, "Yeah." And I was like, "Do you get them
Yeah.
on like Jordans and stuff?" He goes, "Nah." I was like, "What?" When I was working there, I was able to get any shoe with my 30% discount. So if it's a new pair
Mm,
of Jordans coming out, I would still get a 30% discount. Um,
mm,
but now because the culture's so big and the hype is so hyped up, um, you don't get that anymore. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
they know now.
Okay.
They know that it's a thing. They know it's something you could resell, or you know
Yeah.
they know it's a hot item. Um,
Yeah.
So it sucks. Like I got my Space Jams with a 30% off, some white cement threes with 30% off. Um,
Ooh,
and yeah, real quick, every time during the holidays, we got a special employee 50% off. No ex
okay,
no
okay,
exclusions. So
okay.
so
Anything.
oh my God, when the 50 came around, it would just be me and a couple friends that worked there. We would go to New York, go to the Foot Lockers out there, and just go on a shopping spree, man. We would find all the best sneakers and just 50 off, 50 off. Amazing, man.
That's
Good
dope.
times. I'm glad
That's
I lived
dope,
through
man.
it, you know?
Good old times.
Yeah. Looking back now, I'm like,
Yeah, yeah. Ooh, a lot of questions. Like, when you started colliding, at the time that you started colliding, there was not as much hype around the sneakers and stuff as there is now, right?
right. It was a lot smaller. There was
Mm,
still some, like obviously there was websites like Nike Talk, In
yeah,
Style Shoes, like we were on forums and stuff, so it was all chat boards, you know what I mean? Um,
yeah,
so that was a thing. There was a small community. It wasn't as big as it is now.
yeah. And reselling was not a thing, right?
Like it was, but the prices
Okay.
weren't as crazy as they are now.
Mm,
Like now I think because there's just such a huge audience and there's so many celebrities endorsing so many shoes
mm,
and influencers that the price is just so much higher. Back then I saw Wale as like the best sneaker collector because he just had everything and nobody really knew what he had on.
mm,
But I would watch his
mm,
videos, I would see his interviews. Him and Kanye, obviously. Kanye was also a huge
yeah.
influence. He would
Okay.
wear Jordan 1s before it was all cool, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
now it's
Yeah.
just too many.
Okay. I hear you. So the question I always wanted to ask that I'm asking everyone is like, for somebody like myself,
Mhm.
that is just starting to learn about everything. I find all the YouTube videos that I can around sneakers, learning about all the brands, Nike, the Jordans, the history of it, everything, finding as much as I can on YouTube. But there's only so much I can find on YouTube, right? What's what's where do you suggest I start if I want to get into the sneaker culture and learn as much as I can about the sneakers and also buy them? Where should I start? Should I start looking into the Jordans, buying the Jordans, the Air Max, or I just go with what I like? Like what would be a simple guide for the person that is starting to get into collecting and stuff?
Just starting.
Yeah.
I'll always suggest to buy what you like. Um,
Okay.
a little documentary that helped me out was it's an old documentary called Just for Kicks. Um,
Just for kicks.
yeah,
Okay.
so check that documentary out. You see a lot of well-known like people, not well-known now, but there's like Bobito Garcia. He he's just like an old school New York guy. I forgot exactly what he does, but he's a big influence in street culture and streetwear, sneakers. Um, you ever heard of Mayer?
No, I've not. Nah.
See, I guess it's because it's an East Coast thing. I'm from, being from New York, but these
Uh,
are all like people that I looked up to when I was getting into sneakers. So watching
okay.
that Just for Kicks documentary, you see the passion. They, interview a bunch of just people that love sneakers and have a ton of sneakers. Um, and eventually you start finding what you like. You might like the Jordans, or a lot of people love trainers, so they love the Air Maxes and stuff like that.
Uh,
Some people, excuse me, would just like Air Forces. You'll find what you like, especially when you buy it and you put it on your feet and you're like, ah, like these look good on me.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, um,
yeah.
so you'll find your way. And what I would suggest to buy is, well, first purchasing is trying eBay. Um,
Uh,
eBay was always my source. I've never gotten beat for any fake pairs on there. Um,
Okay.
as long as the description says, 100% authentic, you could message them and confirm with them. Um, it was
Okay.
always the go-to source. Now because we have Goat and we have StockX, people swear by that, like, but if you can't authenticate your own shoes when you get them and check them out, like what are you really doing, like
Yeah.
you're counting on someone else to do that for you. Of course, like there's some great fakes out there, but you'll be fine as long as you message them, confirm they're real, you have it in writing, you know. If it's something
Mm.
off, you let PayPal know like, "Hey, this isn't the product that I ordered." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they'll
Get the
take
money
care of
back.
you. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So start with what you like. Okay,
Mhm.
that's interesting. That's interesting.
Mhm.
Because me myself, I was never a sneaker guy, so I was never really paying attention to like what's on my feet. I was kind of like you said, I was just rocking my Vans, and that was it. Rocking my Vans every day. I had like 5 pairs of Vans. That was it, and then I would rock them every day to school or whatever was going on. But I remember once I saw a friend with a pair of Yeezys, and I was like, "Yo, those shoes are dope." I really fuck with them. I really fuck. There was something about the colors of it and the mesh type look of it that I was like, "Yo, that's dope. That's dope." So I'll probably start there. And I saw that you got the new Yeezy. I saw it on your Instagram, right?
Which let me see which one.
I I
Let me
think the last ones that I saw was the Yeezy 500, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So I got those. When did they come out? 2018 or something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
I think that was my first pair of Yeezys. It was just I was at work. I was at work in the
Yeah.
office, and I don't know. I got some kind of notification. I don't remember if I get them on email or Twitter, but I got a notification saying that they were coming out, and I just went on
Yeah.
quickly to, I think it was YeezySupply.com. Quickly just put in all my info, and I went through. I got it, and then
Uh,
I have my wife to take care of too, so I had to get her a pair. So I went back and I went for it again, and I got through and I got her size.
yeah.
15 minutes later, I get an email of the cancellation for that one because it was one per customer.
Oh,
Yeah, so I got my pair. I couldn't get hers.
damn, 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 damn. Should have just given her your pair.
Yeah, right. And she has a tiny foot, man. She wears like
Oh,
a three in kids.
damn.
Yeah.
Tough to find sneakers for that.
Oh, for sure. And back then too,
Okay.
man.
Yeah. Yeah. So, uh, when it comes to collecting, for your case, at least, how much is it just you just collecting what you really like, and how much is it like you understand the meaning of the sneaker and you're like, yo, this sneaker, or the hype around it, and then you
Hmm.
cop it for that reason? How much is it like what you like versus the hype or the meaning of the shoe?
It's it's such a mixed emotion now. Uh,
Okay.
I honestly 90% of what I buy is because I like it. Um,
Okay.
yeah, a good 90 to 95%. There's still a small percentage where I'm like, oh, I could sell these and then buy what I want. You know what I mean? Or
Mm,
I could
mm,
get these and just trade them for something I want. Um,
yeah.
so there's always that small percentage that yeah, I fall into the hype sometimes
Yeah.
because you just see it everywhere, and you can't help but fall victim to it. Um,
Mm,
but even at that point, why not just go for it, right? Because
yeah.
that's still money to be made or profit to be made. I could buy a $200 shoe and sell it for 600. I make my
Yeah.
money back for the shoe, and I got the extra money I could save, or I could get something else that I wanted. Um,
Yeah.
but I say a good 90 to 95% is stuff that I want, and the other is like, all right, I could grab these and sell them because they're just too
Yeah.
hype. I don't want them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's also a downfall with hype shoes is they get kind of repetitive and boring. You know what I mean? Like, okay, Chicago off-white ones, like the Jordan ones,
Hmm. Yeah.
super popular, super hyped. Four, $5,000 on StockX, but like they just don't stand out to me that much anymore because you just see
Okay.
every
So much.
right,
Okay.
you see YouTubers wearing them, celebrities, influencers. I'm like, anyone could get them if you have money. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Um, but when I see someone with like some old, 2004 Air Max Trainer 3s, something that you don't see as often that I know of,
okay.
I'm like, oh shit, like this guy knows, you know what I mean?
Mm,
Um,
okay.
so that's just me personally. I'm sure other people feel differently, but
Okay.
but that's just how I feel.
Mm, okay. Okay. See, and how much does I was here thinking back to what we were talking about, you driving all the way to a Stussy store and all that. How
Mm,
much how intertwined is it for you specifically in your case, the sneaker world and the fashion world? How much does that do those two worlds collide, let's say, for
man,
you?
just like if if you're rocking some sneakers that are, dope and something that you love, you could always go with just a plain white tee, plain black shirt. That's not a
Okay,
big
I feel
deal.
it.
Um,
Like,
but there's something about like a Stussy shirt or Supreme or who else? Like A Life is a big brand in New York that I
mm,
was into. Um, the reason I got into this stuff is because I was really into SBs at one point, and
okay.
I got into SBs because I used to like skateboard shoes. Like my first pair of skateboard shoes were some DCs, you know?
Oh, the same. I think mine was the same. Yeah.
Yeah, like I was in high school, and this is crazy. So I was in high school, and it's not like I was a skater or anything, but I loved the look of the shoe. I loved the chunky, the thick tongue. You
Mm,
know what I mean? And I'm like, damn, those look cool. I'm not a skater, but these are cool. So I get a pair. I get a pair. I wear it to school, and believe it or not, someone was like, "Yo, those are dope," and they're just some DCs that I got at the mall. Um, and then a week later, some kid in my auto class, he gets a pair of DCs, and then like 2 weeks later, his friend gets a. I'm like, "Yo, like,
yeah.
did I just start something at my school? Like, why are my friends getting DCs? Like, they're wearing Air Forces and Fat Farm sneakers. You know what I mean? They're not really into shoes,
Yeah.
but they saw my DCs and they were like, "Yo, you pulled them off. Like, I like those." So that also struck me like, oh, like trends really happen and they come and go. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy. Um, but yeah, oh, we were talking about the streetwear.
The clothing. Yeah.
So like skateboard brands and skate shops, like Supreme and Stussy and stuff. That's
Yeah.
kind of how I got into the that kind of clothing because of skate shops. They would sell this type of clothes. And now it's like a urban fashion streetwear, you know what I mean, as opposed to just
Hmm.
skatewear. So it's crazy how it changed from back then to now.
Yeah, but from the research that I've done, a lot of these streetwear brands they had the origins on the snake on the skating culture,
Yeah.
like Off White and etc. They all have the origins of the on the skating and etc.
Hmm.
Which is crazy to me because that's how I got into. That was the first hobby of mine as a kid. I was not into traditional sports that much, even though I did play basketball, but it was mostly skating.
Hmm.
I was obsessed with skateboarding, and that's how I got my DCs and then my elements, and then whatever I had the shoe, it would just be because I needed my skating shoes and stuff. And to see all of these brands coming from that is super dope. It's super interesting.
Yeah, and I was into skateboarding too. I had a skateboard. um it was like for my birthday. There was a store by me, a skate shop. They would build your skateboard, and my dad brought me there to build a skateboard for my birthday.
Oh,
So I got like do you remember the a brand called Blind?
Nope, no,
No.
never. I don't
Uh,
remember that.
it was a blind skateboard deck, and got the trucks, got the wheels, got everything done. Um, it was the same dude, my same friend that got me into sneakers, that got me into
Ooh,
skateboarding, man. It
that's
like
a
it's
good friend.
I know it's crazy because like I said, he was always in the streets, always knew what was up.
It
Um,
was cool.
and
Yeah.
he would feed me into that. But yeah, I got into it because of him. I wasn't that great. The most I could do was an ollie. uh,
It's good enough.
yeah, and that's the best I could do. Ollie, a manual maybe.
Yeah.
But
A
that's
little
about it.
kickflip. No.
I would practice it. I could never land it, but I would practice it. Um,
Okay.
and then after that, I got into like BMX bikes, and that was the easiest way to get
hmm
around in New York. Just riding your
Okay.
bike.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think is the difference between the East Coast and the West Coast when it comes to this whole culture?
Uh, as far as like sneakers and stuff like that,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's crazy. I I don't know. I know Air Forces were huge with us on the East Coast. Um, I don't want to sound like I know from the West Coast, but I'm sure they were really into Converses and Chucks. Um,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
my guess. Um, I didn't even know much of the West Coast back then. Aside like the
Mhm.
whole Tupac and Biggie thing. That's
Yeah.
that's pretty much it.
Okay. Yeah. I'm, I'm curious because I think most of the brands that I've found, at least when it comes to the streetwear, they're like East Coast based. Uh Only a few have the origins on the West
Hmm.
side of things. The one that I do love is actually from the West, which is Fear of God.
Oh, sure.
There's something about their clothing and stuff and their story that just resonates very deeply with me. And Jerry Lorenzo, I studying him and his story too is super dope. Super dope.
Yeah, I recently picked up those like Fear of God Air Raids type of shoe.
Oh yeah, I love those shoes, man.
Yeah, I was surprised that he did that because like the Air Raids are one of my top five sneakers.
Really?
Yeah, because they were just a shoe that I came across in 2004. Um,
Okay.
and it reminded me of the Jordan 8 because they have these straps that go across.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So like
yeah,
you could do a lot with that. You could strap them normally. You could put them through the laces and have them loose. You could put them on the side. So I like the versatility of being different and just being able to do what you want with the shoe. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And so when Fear of God came out with that colorway for it, I'm like, wow, like he likes this shit too. Like he likes that to enough to
Yeah,
make like his own shoe to make it look like it. Um, So I definitely got a pair of those, and they're just chilling right now. I kept them in the box.
yeah, those are super cool.
Yeah.
Those are super cool. And how much is this uh influenced, let's say, the rest of your life? Because I'm thinking you also got into photography. You got into photography after you got into shoes, right?
Uh,
Or roughly around the same time, actually.
roughly around the same time, I think.
Yeah.
Like, so I was into shoes and I was into cars. Like, I was into my car. Like,
Okay.
I used to. Well, I guess it all intertwines because like skaters were into like Subarus or whatever. Like, I had a
Uh,
WRX, like, and I would have an exhaust, change the
ooh,
wheels. I would do
that's
everything.
dope.
So like
Yeah.
that's why a camera came in. Like I would take pictures of my car, and then I would take pictures of
Ooh,
me wearing shoes near my car or whatever it was.
okay.
It just kind of collided, you know.
Okay. Okay. And yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. How much did the the sneaker culture influence the rest of your life, because then you have the camera right around the same time, and you're taking street photos, street photography type photos, and you were there also colliding this thing. How much did it influence how you moved on the rest of your life, and how the path that you took?
Now that you're asking me this question, it really it really influenced my whole life after that. After
Yeah.
that one time my buddy said, "Yo, get you some Air Forces." Shoot, ever since then, I've just always been into it. Um, there was times I was a broke college kid and didn't really have money um, to buy shoes like that, and so I would just go to eBay. I would go to eBay and go find auctions for shoes, of shoes that I want or whatever,
Hmm.
and just wait and try to see if I can get a good deal on one. There was
Mm,
there's always a way. Um, so like it definitely like I'm 31 now, and
okay.
I was what in sixth grade when he told me about that, and I'm still into it.
Yeah,
So that says a
that's
lot, I
dope.
guess. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's super dope. That's super dope. And yeah, you can talk a little bit about how photography came into play in your life? How when did you decide that like you wanted to commit to it and really learn more about it, and use it even as a source of income for you?
Yeah, so that's always like a it's always like a tough one. So like at first, when you're starting off, you might be average, at least you got your camera, you could take the pictures better than someone with like an iPhone 5 or whatever. Um,
Yeah.
and let's see, like, after a while, after just learning in school and just doing it on my own and finding angles of, you see things a certain way, uh,
Mm,
just like in life, like, you're just walking, you might see a building, you might see a puddle or whatever. You see it a certain way because you're just walking, you're just going along. But when you stop and actually take a look around, even through the lens of a camera, you
mm,
find like a different scene. You know what I mean? So, that's like how I really got into that. And I'm like, shoot, like this actually looks cool if I just bend down here and just take it at this angle or
mm.
whatever.
Kind of
Anything.
like seeing things into a different perspective and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, anything can look cool if you find the right angle, get a good picture of it. You can make just a regular shoe look a lot better by just doing certain things with it. Get a nice scene, get a nice uh, uh, a shoe tree to make the shoe stand out more, make sure it's clean. Um, but what I was getting at was, what was I getting at? uh, so we're saying how
You,
photography, like,
yeah.
I got into that.
How did you get it? Yeah.
So like after a while of after realizing like, uh, I could take photos. I got asked by friends, by family, like, hey, you want to shoot this event? You want to shoot this what was it? My first event was uh, a baby shower. So it was a baby shower.
Ooh,
Yeah, so
interesting one. Okay.
yeah, it was just a baby shower, and of course I'm over here. I take pictures of cars and sneakers, and they want me to do
Yeah.
a baby shower. So so I do it anyway. The pictures come out all right. They love it, but as a photographer, you're your own biggest critic. Like, they'll love the pictures. Of course, it's good quality or whatever. But me, I'm
Yeah.
just like, I could do better. You know what I mean?
Mm,
So that was always a thing with me, and something I always struggle with is, you know, criticizing my own work.
yeah. Kind of like perfectionism.
Yeah, it's tough to deal with, but you just gotta let it
Mm,
go. You gotta do your best and let it go. Like, not hang on to that so much, and just continue. Um, finish. Like, I watched this one photographer on YouTube. His name's Peter McKinnon. Um,
mm,
he's got this one quote. that is something along the lines of like finished is better than perfect, or like done is better than
Mm,
perfect, which is something I
yeah.
try to remember because I could sit here all day trying to edit something, trying to perfect it so much to the point where you almost want to give up, like, ah, whatever, let's scratch it. I want to do something better. But it's always good to just
Mm,
finish, like look at your finished product and then continue from there.
yeah. Yeah. People
S-
are a lot from just finishing. I I I think I'm almost the same, if not the same. I really obsess over having everything that I make be exactly as I envisioned it in my mind.
Exactly. Hmm.
And sometimes it's just like, yo, man, you're just not there yet. You're just not good enough at it yet. Just keep on doing it, repeat, do more of it, and eventually on your fiftieth photo, you're gonna get close to it, and you just gotta keep iterating, and repeating. But
It
it's tough.
it's like a gift and a curse. Like,
Yep, true,
like it's great that you want to strive to
true.
be so good, but you're also tearing yourself down by doing it, you know?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
as long as you just know, like, all right, whatever, we can keep going. Like, let me finish this, keep going, then you're gonna get to where you want to be.
exactly.
Yeah.
Which is it's tough sometimes where you succumb to that realization that you just have to keep going because you're like, no man, this is not then this is not it's not there yet.
Yeah.
It's not how it's supposed to be. This is not okay.
Yeah.
And to let go is a whole thing.
Yeah.
That's something that I'm learning with the podcast. The podcast is just like, yo, man, I, even if I'm like, yo, man, this could have been better. I'm like, yo, this I just have to put it. I just have to put it out. And the crazy thing is, the one episode that I'm like, yo, this could have been better, is the one that people are like, yo, this was dope. And I'm like, okay, this is weird. So
It's
you never really
yeah.
know what
Isn't that crazy how it
you
turns
never
out?
really know. Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
The one that you're like obsessing about is the one that people are like, oh, this is actually dope. And you just never really know how people are gonna react to what you create.
100%. It's crazy how that works in all kinds of creative aspects, you know?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Where do you see yourself going next with the photography? Because you're about to start your real estate venture. Is photography still gonna be a part of your life, or you gonna be focusing on that instead? Where is it gonna be?
so yeah, I've thought of that too. Of course, it's always going to be at least a hobby of mine. Um,
Okay.
but doing this real estate course, I could still, you know, I was planning actually to build like a plan, like a 5-year plan type of thing of like what my goals
Mm,
should be. Um, and I was honestly thinking, even if I get into real estate, there's still a lot of real estate companies that need videographers, photographers for their
mm,
websites, for their listings and all that, for their, so if I do become, well, when I do become a real estate agent, and eventually hopefully a broker or something, I could
yeah.
still start a business with real estate doing photo and video and still make a great living that way,
Yeah.
if it's something that I love more, like, which is photography or video, then I would want to do that, as opposed to something
Mm,
that makes a lot more money. I'd rather be happier and make some money than, not be that
okay.
happy making money.
Okay. I see. Okay. Okay. Sounds good. And the sneaker part, I'm really assuming that's always gonna be a part of your life. It's been so far, so
Man,
I'm
I
not even gonna ask that.
I tried to stop at one point. Um,
You try to stop.
yeah, my wife too. There was a point. So my wife is also into sneakers. That's actually how we met.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, dope.
yeah. What had happened? So we went to the same community college, and
Okay.
she happened to be in the same building where I was gonna have class. And we had
Mm,
we had gone to high school together, so we kind of knew of each other, but we never spoke. Um,
okay.
so I seen her sitting there. She was waiting for her sister to get out of class. Um, and I remember uh, funny enough, I had Air Raids on. You know, my favorite shoe.
Ooh.
They were the white, black, and blue ones. So I had those on. I saw her. I said, "What's up?" You know, we're talking. She had black and red 11s on, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
Mm,
Like, she's into shoes. That's pretty cool. She's cute. That's pretty cool. And
okay.
we start talking, and that's literally how we started talking because I just brought up her shoes. I'm like,
Because of the
"Yo, yeah."
shoes.
I'm like, "Where'd you get those?"
Uh,
So that's how we started talking, and it's pretty crazy.
yep.
Here we are now. Now we each have our own collection, and
That's crazy.
exactly.
That's crazy. You can't quit shoes, like
I
now you can't quit. That's why you
know.
met your wife, man. You
Yeah,
can't.
I know. I
You can't.
can't believe I tried to stop at one point because it was more so like,
Why did you try to stop?
I don't know. It was more like, what am I doing? Like, what am I getting out of these shoes? Like, and I think
Mm-hmm.
it's that emotional tie of the beginning. Like, I was also a big Michael Jordan fan growing up. I had
Mm,
pictures, posters. I had the whole Space Jam like collection figures. You know what I mean? Like,
mm,
I was on a basketball team all through middle school, so everyone wanted to be like Jordan. Uh,
yeah.
and I'll also never forget in sixth grade before I got my Air Forces. Um, this is what 2000, maybe 2001 or the end of 2000. Um,
Mm,
this one kid, I wasn't even into Jordans back then, but like I knew Michael Jordan. But this one kid, he was into Jordan shoes, but just to play basketball in them, and he would get
mm,
all of them. His parents would get him all the Jordans whenever they came out. Um,
mm,
and he walked in one day with these white true blue threes, and everyone was like, "Yo, like what are those? Those are sick!" Like, and even I fell for
mm.
it. I'm like, "Yo, those are amazing. Like they look so good." Um, because you never seen a shoe like that. They had like elephant print on them. They were white, bright. They were blue. They had a little red accent. Um, and that's when I was like, man, shoes are fucking cool, man. Like I don't know if you
Yeah.
curse here, but shoes are cool.
Feel free. Feel free.
So yeah, that was when I was like really, like I said, sixth grade when I was learning like, and you also want to
Mm,
get into
very
girls and
nice.
stuff. You got to be fresh, you got to get
Yeah,
some clean
fresh.
shoes. but
Okay.
but yeah, I think I'm stuck with shoes now for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Do you ever think of I don't know, doing something further with it, like being a brand ambassador, or I don't know, like what else you could do? Start a podcast about shoes or something, like doing something about it that is not just cladding. Do you think of going beyond cladding, or not even? You just like cool with cladding, and that's it. You don't need anything else.
So, I wish I would have done something back then. Um,
Mm,
I feel like would have been a bigger influence, but I feel like now I'm fine with collecting. I think more so
mm,
I think I should stick with photography and video as
mm,
my main source. If something comes around with shoes and photography, that would be great.
that would be
you know,
dope. Yeah.
something that I could do with that. That would be great. But as long as I focus on one thing and try to get there, I'll always collect shoes and
Mm,
I'll stick with photography and video. Um,
mm,
yeah, because back then I used to have, like I said, we used to chat on forums online, and
yeah.
Nike Talk was really big, and ISS, which is In Style Shoes, was really big. I was on there, and I was actually a moderator on there. So like,
Oh,
yeah, I was in a group. Forgot my name on there. It was like Subi Soul. You could buy and sell shoes on there. You used to be able to trust each other on there. Now it's like
mm,
impossible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But back then, man,
Yeah.
thinking about it, we used to send shoes to each other. Just, you know what I mean? Like, oh, here's $200
Yeah.
and I'll wait for those shoes to come in. Not through eBay, not through Go. We used to just trust each
Just
other.
through for
Yeah.
trust.
Yeah, and we could leave each other reviews. So like, if someone had good reviews, I'm gonna trust them. And it always
Mm,
worked out. I never got beat for anything. Um, but yeah, I would love to. If something comes along my way, maybe if I work hard at it, I could try to do something. Um,
mm,
so yeah, if it comes my way, yeah. If it doesn't, it is what it is. I'll never stop collecting.
yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Okay. Okay. I see that. And now, still more on the shoe front of stuff. What for you personally, as your taste, what are you looking for in the shoe? Is it the colorway? Is it the shape of the shoe? Is it the attention to detail? What are you usually looking for? Because for me, I'm just like looking at the shoe. I'm like, oh, that's a dope shoe. I'm not thinking too much about it. But the more I learn about the shoes and the process of making the shoes, the creative process of coming up with the shoes, I'm starting to pay attention to like little things that maybe I would not otherwise pay attention to.
Mm.
What is it like for you? How do you select? What are you looking for? What are you paying attention? What are you paying attention to? What are those things?
So right now, I kind of so right now I'm just looking for anything that's not a Jordan 1. Because that seems to be the shoe that,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that's just
yeah,
everyone needs to have.
everywhere.
And
Yeah.
granted, you know, just a few years ago, that was the shoe to get because everyone else was wearing whatever came out or Yeezys or whatever. And so Jordan
Mm.
1s were being worn and that wasn't the shoe that everyone was wearing. And then all of a sudden, I swear within just a year,
It's everywhere.
yeah.
It's everywhere now.
So now it's
Everywhere.
like, the shoe that everyone wanted to use to get away from what everyone else was wearing is now the shoe that everyone's wearing. Um,
Mm,
so now I just try to find something that's different. And again, something that I like, not that I'm influenced by,
mm,
this person to get this pair. I just try to find something I like that I used to like. Something unique that catches my eye, even if the colorway is weird. You know, I like the design of shoes. You know, the
mm,
more straps or puffy tongue or different laces that they have, the better. You know, because you want to you want to stand out as opposed to try to fit in.
mm.
When you fit in, you get lost in the whole thing. You get lost in the mass
Yeah.
of everything. When you stand out, I feel like it's a little more unique. It's a little more personable. You know, if it's no offense to anyone who loves Jordan ones, if you love them, go for it. You know what I mean? But if you're doing it because everyone else is doing it, then
It's different.
yeah,
It's different.
you know what I mean.
Yeah. Mm, okay. That's interesting. Would you consider that as an artist? Uh, you also use the shoe sometimes as a form of self-expression. Instead of going and taking a photograph to express how you're feeling or whatever, you can just like wear this specific shoes, and you'd be like, this, this kind of reflecting my state or whatever.
Yeah,
To use them like that.
yeah, yeah. Every once in a while, I'm like, yeah, I'll want to throw on a certain pair, because I don't know, for whatever reason. If
Mm,
like I have a pair of Rockefeller Air Forces. Like I love those
mm,
shoes. I'll wear those. They're just regular white Air Forces with the Rockefeller label on the back, um, and on the top of the tongue. I'll wear those because I was, big into Jay-Z growing up.
oh, happy birthday to Jay Z, by the way.
Oh yeah, yeah. December 4th, damn.
Yeah,
The song that actually reminds me of the song and I should have
yeah.
remembered. Um But yeah, I would wear those. Shoot, I might wear those today now that you said that. To express myself. That's actually a good idea. I should take a picture wearing them. Um, but yeah, depending on the mood, um, you know, uh, if I'm feeling nostalgic, I'll wear some old school sneakers that I used to wear. Um, if I want to something new, I'll wear like some Travis Scotts or something like that. So yeah, it's a good way
Yeah,
to express yourself. You know.
yeah. And yeah, still on that topic, where does because as I said, I'm just starting to learn about this, but where does the hype come from? Like you start seeing the like how do you know which shoes are gonna be super hyped up? How do you know what is on everybody's mind? You start seeing through social media, or there's still a few forums where you go and hang out, or how do you get entrenched in the conversation to know what's being talked about or not?
I feel like I feel like I've been into this for so long that I feel like you just kind of know at one point.
Really?
Yeah. So like legit, I could always tell when something's gonna be hyped up. I think it's just because I've been into this kind of culture. Just anything,
Mm,
period. Like I knew the PS5 was gonna be an insane release. I knew that the
yeah,
resale was gonna be
crazy,
crazy. So back in
crazy.
September, I pre-ordered like four of them, and
Okay.
there were so many available. Not to get off the topic of shoes, but just like in
No,
hype
sure,
culture,
sure.
period. Like
Yeah.
I knew there's just something about it that I knew because
Mm,
I was out. I've been outside for a while now. You know what I mean? Like how they say, I've been outside for a while. So
yeah.
I was out there for the PS3 release. That was the craziest shit I've been through. um,
Mm,
we went to a Best Buy, me and three friends, and man, the crowd was huge outside of Best Buy. Like it was
mm,
like something that you see at a movie running all towards Best Buy through the parking lot like a giant stampede, man. Um, that they canceled it. They canceled the release that day. And so from
because of the crowd.
yeah, like there were cops out there. It was nuts. Um, so then we went to like another Best Buy and like eventually my friend got one. He opened it up, he got home, he used it. He saw on eBay they were selling for a good amount of money back then. 900, 800 bucks for a system back then, that was a lot.
Mm,
So he's like, ah,
yeah.
screw it, I'm gonna sell it. So he sells it. And so like, I don't know, just especially the high, like you could also tell when there's collaborations, like Travis Scott got into the PlayStation scene, you know what I mean?
Mm,
So you knew there goes the price, it's gonna go up. Um,
yeah.
so collaborations are a good hint as to if something's gonna be hype. Um, and you could, there's certain Twitter accounts you could follow too. Um, and really, I do it based on how a certain shoe looks. I'm like, man, this is a really
Okay.
fresh looking pair of shoes. Like they're different. I think people are gonna like these, and that's just kind of how you can tell.
Mm,
It's
okay.
just something you learn over
Oh,
the years, I guess.
yeah. That's what I was gonna ask. It's like it comes with experience. The more experience you have
Hmm.
in in the field, the more you become in tune with what's gonna pop or not.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So like, so okay, so that's how you see the hype, collabs, and etc. And just being having some time in the field. But okay, here's my question. Let's say, for myself, actually, let's give this example. I want to start a streetwear brand from ground zero, no collabs, no connections, nothing. I'm just like starting from zero. Uh, how would you advise, based on on the experience that you have around knowing about hype, knowing how to see it, having an eye for it? How would you advise I market said brand starting from zero? How would you go? Talk to influencers, do this, do that. How would you proceed with it?
Yeah.
If you have any insights.
I, so like honestly, I think simplicity is big right now. Like,
Okay.
let's say the design of your shirt is something simple, maybe something on the top right part of the shirt, like towards the chest, like just
Mm-hmm.
maybe some writing and some small letters, whatever, something simple. And then, yeah, reach
Mm,
out to influencers, even micro influencers, I think are a big deal. Someone with
okay.
like 5 to 7,000 followers,
Okay.
something not
Mm,
crazy. Because I feel like those influencers with over 150, 300,000 followers, yeah, they could definitely market your stuff, to a wide audience. But maybe the audience really isn't into that for them because they see it as like, oh,
mm,
this guy has 300,000 followers. He's just marketing for them. You know what I mean?
mm,
So it
okay.
kind of makes it
Okay.
not that cool in that sense. But if someone's got maybe, they're just starting off, they have like 7,000 followers, even like 10 to 15,000. This guy's just
Mm,
starting off, and he's gonna pick the stuff that he can get, and something
yeah.
he's really into. Because I'm sure he's not getting paid; he's just getting free clothes. The other influencers, they're getting paid. You know what I mean? So
Okay. That's the perception. Okay.
yeah, so exactly. So I think that's what it is. It's definitely worth talking to the smaller micro to nano influencers and see how it goes from there.
Okay.
And
Okay.
they have
Yeah.
organic, in my opinion, they have more organic followers. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they're starting
Definitely.
off small. At one point, one of these bigger influencers could have faked a lot of followers. Like, oh, I got a hundred
Yeah.
thousand. No one will notice if I get another 50,000. And then just add another 50.
Yeah.
Um, so that's one thing I keep an eye out for with certain influencers as well.
Okay. Okay. That's interesting. I'll definitely keep that in mind. Definitely.
Mm.
So yeah, we've touched on sneakers. We've touched on the photography. We didn't touch that much on real estate. We'll go there, but what else? What else are the some things that are taking your attention or that you want to build on besides this colliding the sneakers, the photographs, and the real estate? Is there anything else that you've been thinking of that you wanna grow or that you wanna get into in life?
Yeah, I think um, I think YouTube is still a great platform. Um, so there's still plenty of people growing from there, from starting brand new, and
Mm,
they could be doing anything. I came across, I don't know how, YouTube just knows how to suggest things to you. You know what I mean? But I came across
they know their stuff. Yeah.
I came across one guy, a kid even. I think his name is Cam's Kicks. Um,
Okay.
he has like a little store, like a uh, not a consignment shop, but he'll like buy shoes from you and then he'll sell them at his store. But or he'll whatever he does. But all he does
Okay.
is he puts a GoPro, on the side of the register, and he just records his day in the store. People will come bring him shoes. He'll buy them off him, and then he'll put them up on his store to sell them. Or he'll sell shoes that he has in the store. And
Mm,
I'm like, man, like people are really just making videos just about almost anything, just a day in their life, or doesn't even have to be a vlog.
yeah.
And I think I followed him at like 12,000 subscribers. Then all of a sudden he's got
Okay.
50,000 and he's getting all the views and stuff. I'm like,
Wow.
damn, like good for him, you know what I mean? And I just think it's really cool that no matter at what stage or no matter at what year it is, like it's the end of 2020, this kid's already building a good following on YouTube. Um,
Yeah.
and I've, been trying to figure it out as to what exactly like the content I want to put on YouTube. And, I see a lot of people like I'm thinking of just putting my whatever I've learned throughout the years of photography. I want to help people out with some shortcuts because, you know, there's stuff that took me a long time to learn while doing
Mm,
photography, like whether it's the editing or like, damn, how did you get this shot? Get a little tripod or something. I I feel like
okay.
that's something I want to do. I want to start a channel to help people maybe take better pictures. If you only have an iPhone, like doesn't have to necessarily be with an expensive camera. I want to show that you could do it with what you got. Um, and try to help people take better pictures. Instagram's a big thing. Like it's huge. Never thought it would
Yeah,
be like this. And
that's crazy.
right, so I just want to maybe just pay it forward, teach people what I learned, maybe have a little shortcut than taking
Okay.
forever finding out like, oh, you crop your picture before you put it on Instagram because the quality's better. I'm like, yeah, crop it on your
Yeah.
in Photoshop before you post it because Instagram will compress it and lower the quality. So just little things like that I feel like are things I should share with
Mm,
people.
okay. Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting because I did check your YouTube, and it was the photo walks that you have there, a bunch of them.
Yeah.
So you're gonna like go a little bit off the photo walks and more into tutorial type content.
I'm gonna I feel like the photo walks is a series I should do weekly. Um, I feel like
Mm,
I should continue that because I like doing it. I love doing it. Like I'm working on a video right now that hopefully I'll post by tonight or tomorrow, um, which is a photo walk. But
okay.
consistency is key. I know that, but I don't take that advice. uh,
It's difficult.
it's very
Difficult.
difficult. Um, but yeah, I've gotten people message me like, "Hey, I'm moving to Miami. Would love to do a photo walk with you. I love your video, your style, blah blah blah." Like, oh shit, like that's pretty cool. And I had the video up for like 2 weeks, and I get this message 2 weeks
Yeah.
later. So it's pretty dope. You can connect with people, and like, damn, if I would have just kept posting, I'm sure more people would keep seeing it, and I would grow a little more.
Yeah.
So taking my own advice, like definitely got to be consistent.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
See, it's crazy. This social media thing. You see, you post something, and like 2 months later, somebody will come and be like, "Yo, I saw this post that you did 2 months ago," and you connect based off of that. Something that you would never expect or think of. Even it's crazy.
Yeah,
It's crazy how people can just connect off the bat like that. It's really crazy.
right. And like your video's just out there for people to see. Um, whether it's the day you posted it or 3 months later, they can comment and,
Yeah.
connect with you at that point. Like, oh shit, like I like this. I'm gonna subscribe or whatever. Um, so I imagine like, damn, like if I would have just kept posting, I would have a lot more messages like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah, but you're getting back at it, so
yeah,
that's what matters.
exactly.
That's what matters. Getting back at it, and yeah, consistency is always a battle. Just like I said at the beginning of this, I for the past 3 weeks I've not posted a podcast. It was a difficult 3 weeks, trying to secure guests, talking to them, coordinating, and all that is a difficult process, and you can't always get it. Uh, you can always get it.
Mm,
People midway, they're like, schedule and all that, and it's difficult, especially when other people are involved. But here we are again, another run before the end of the year,
yeah.
and I'm excited for this.
Yeah, for sure, man. It was awesome. Like it's a great idea, you speaking to just people on Instagram or people wherever trying to make it themselves. Um, and it gives us experience as well as you.
Yeah, yeah, I'm just trying to add a little bit of value to whoever's life, just a little bit of value. And selfishly, I learn a lot from this podcast. I do learn a lot. It's super awesome.
Yeah. No,
I
it's
fucking love it.
yeah, it's great. Like I listen to podcasts all the time. And like I like to search YouTube channels with people with low subscribers. So
Okay.
so like with the photo walks, I would legit search, type in photo walk or whatever, and there's people with a lot of views and stuff, but I look for the ones with smaller followings, with smaller views. I'm like, let me take a look at how they're doing it. You know,
Okay.
I'm more
Like, what's the thought process? Why are you doing that? What's the thought process?
because people already with like the high subscribers, they kind of already made it. You know what I mean? Like
Mm,
they have a flow, they have a consistency of what they're doing. But with the smaller subs, 1,000 subscribers, 700, or like 30 subscribers, I'm like, let me take a look at them. Let me see how consistently
okay.
they're uploading. Let me see how their editing style is. Like, did they just learn how to do this, or did they learn already a bunch and now they're finally taking that step? You know what I mean? Um,
Mm,
and it's cool because you could kind of see with different people, like, oh, this guy definitely he's been doing this and now he's taking it serious. You know what I mean? Or this guy's brand new and just decided, hey, I'm just gonna post these videos, like whatever.
mm,
I don't know much about editing, but he's consistent. You know what I mean? He's uploading all the time.
mm,
His video quality is, or not quality, but like the editing's not that great, or it's a little off, or maybe he's not comfortable in front of the camera, but he's consistent. So like
mm,
it's cool to see that, follow them, and then who knows, 6 months later go back and check him out and you're like, oh shit, this guy grew. You know
mm.
what I mean?
Yeah, see them grow.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
it's interesting.
yeah, I do things like that just because the ones with a million subscribers don't need me. They don't need me to subscribe to them. But the smaller ones, they're starting up. They might do something different. You know what I mean?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I think I've kind of started doing that on Instagram. I just, I just go to random profiles, random pages on Instagram, and I just check them out, see what they're doing, and just like we connected, just check your profile, trying to learn a little bit more about street culture, fashion, sneaker culture, and all that. And yeah, then just hit you up and all that. I think it's uh it's a good way to connect
Hmm.
with other people, you know.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So
And you're doing it. Like someone else could have a small podcast as well, but they're not reaching out. Maybe they want to reach out to bigger, people with a ton of
mm,
followers, and they're gonna be like, nah, man, like you're not on that level.
yeah,
So the fact that you're just speaking to someone that's a freelancer or just a new artist, trying to make a, in his story, that's cool because one day that guy could be someone and they'll look back at old podcasts or they'll look for them on YouTube and find this old
yeah,
video like, oh shit, this is where he started. You know what I mean? Something like that. Um,
and that's dope.
yeah, so I think that's super dope for that to happen.
Yeah, it is. It is super dope, man. It is super dope. That's the vision.
Hmm.
And as actually, by the way, I'm curious how now with the photography, how hard is it for you to get new clients?
Um, that's the hardest part. Um,
Mm,
that's the hardest part. You just because a lot of people might think, oh, he's only got 900 followers. They want someone with like 10,000,
mm,
But someone with 10,000 might not have the same quality work as me or the same work ethic.
yeah.
Um, but that's, so I just moved to Miami a couple months ago. Um, the thing that I just started doing is, I'll search hashtags or I'll think of, all right, I want to do some real estate work. Let me look up some real estate people, or let me go on Zillow, a website where they have a bunch of houses for sale. Let
Yeah.
me see how those pictures are. If the pictures are kind of whack, let me message this realtor like, hey, I noticed your photos there. Did you want an update on your photos? Just send them a message. Um,
Okay.
and then someone that I'm hoping to work with is a luxury auto rental place out here in Miami. They just lost their
Mm,
photographer, and so I messaged her at the right time, and she was like,
mm,
hey, we actually need a photographer. Because we don't have one anymore, but we've been so busy. I don't have any cars for you to shoot right now. How about you come, blah, blah, blah. So
mm,
I'm in touch with them right now, and hopefully I can get something out of it. You know, they're super busy. I understand they don't have any cars available for me to shoot. Um, and I messaged them I think last month, and I haven't heard from them. And then just the other day, they messaged me like, "Hey, I'm back in Miami. Let me know when's a good day for you to come
Okay.
by." Like, damn, like, but just got to be consistent, got to be patient, and
Yeah.
hopefully everything falls into place.
And you're doing all or most of your outreach through Instagram, or you're also sending cold emails
Yep,
and stuff.
exactly. Yeah, cold call, cold email, or Instagram right now, or word of
Okay.
mouth.
Okay.
Word of mouth also helps, but being new to Miami, um, it's not like I have friends here that I could do their, Christmas photography.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Their photo shoots for Christmas or whatever. But
okay.
I feel like
How long have you been in Miami for?
since August.
Oh, really? You just moved there?
Yeah, it's
Oh, that's crazy. I
just
thought that you had been there already for quite a while.
no, just what 3 4 months. It was a crazy.
You moved in the middle of the pandemic.
Yeah,
How was that?
couldn't take it anymore, man. Couldn't take being stuck in the house in New Jersey. Um,
uh,
we wanted somewhere where we could actually be outside at least, even if it's
yeah.
walking around. And my wife gets seasonal depression, so
Okay.
it,
Yeah, gotta go to the good weather.
yeah, so in Jersey it gets cold for a few months, like more than more than half the year.
Mm,
It gets cold, it gets gray, it gets cloudy, rain, snow, and
yeah.
we were both working from home at the time, and we were just like, whatever, let's go, let's get out of here. Finally had the courage to move, and we did it. So we're here now, and
Okay.
been loving it so far, man. It's been great.
That's dope, man.
Yeah,
Still, I'm happy for you guys.
thanks, man. It's pretty nice
That's
to get
dope.
away from that gray weather, depressing.
Yeah, you can imagine.
It's so bad.
Yeah, thankfully, I've never experienced that. Always good weather here in Mozambique,
I bet.
Cape Town, then Barcelona is. I've always been surrounded by great weather. I wish I'm extremely thankful for. Very thankful.
it
I know it must suck.
it seriously puts you in a better mood. Um,
Yep,
Having
it
some
does.
sun, like it's like scientifically proven, like it makes you feel better.
Very much, yes.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome.
So yeah, it must be a little. So you trying to get new clients on the new city? Okay, okay,
Yeah, because
that's interesting.
back there I would, be more word of mouth. Um, this
Mm,
guy's starting a clothing brand. I did a video for them. This person needs video for a music video for behind the scenes. I did that. Um, Photography, headshots for a birthday. This girl's having a birthday. It was all word of mouth,
yeah.
people that knew each other. Um, so
Okay.
now it's a little more difficult. I think I just got to hustle a little harder, and
Yeah.
that's the plan. I just had this whole holiday, you know, uh, weekend and everything, and been a little slow. So now I just got to get on the grind.
Yeah. And how are you finding how are you finding the numbers or emails to send the emails or could give the calls? Are you going through Google and seeing the directory on Google, searching for specific niches? How are you coming to find these contacts?
Um, so I would normally search like hashtags on Instagram, like let's say Miami rapper, Miami artist, or Miami realtor, or Miami rentals, you know, Airbnb,
Yeah.
whatever it is. I would search them, boat rentals, and I would just offer my service, whether it's a low discounted, whether it's a low discounted service or something free to just get my name out there, I'll do it.
Mm,
Um, because that one free shoot might lead to, hey, we love the video, wondering if you want to come back and do some more, you know.
okay.
So it's good to put yourself out there like that. Um, that's kind of how I got in touch with that luxury car rental. is like, hey,
Mm,
wanted to offer like a complimentary shoot, meet you guys, would love to work with you. And they're like, hey, that sounds great. We actually do need a photographer, blah blah blah. So I'm like, this is great. um, but it's just been a
mm,
little while. I've just been waiting on them, but seems promising. Just you know, got
okay.
to be patient.
Okay. Okay. That's dope. That's dope. And how did you get into the real estate now, changing gears a bit?
Um, got into real estate. My wife does like foreclosures. She like clerks, she does it
Mm,
from home. She's able to do all her work from home. And I had a lot of friends that are into real estate, and it's a great it's a great job because it's kind of self-employed in a way. Um,
yeah.
so I like that aspect, and the fact that you make your commission based on how well you are. That's also a big factor because
Okay.
working for a company, they already have a reputation. Let's say you worked for, uh, I don't know, Comcast. Comcast is like a
Mm,
cable company out here. They have a
yeah.
pretty bad reputation. So, like, already people don't necessarily like it. They might not like you because you work for Comcast.
Okay.
This is something that
Okay.
you build on your own, working for real estate. And however good you are is however good they'll see you. So, you're a
Mm,
great agent, they're going to refer you. If you work for Comcast and you're great to them, like, yeah, yeah, he was a nice tech, but he was just a tech. You're not going to get the same guy. Comcast is still shitty, you
yeah.
know? Um,
Yeah.
so that's just kind of how I see it.
Okay. Okay. And by the way, are you currently just getting all of your income from the photography, or you also working a 9 to 5 while you're doing the freelance work?
Uh, really, it's all freelance right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So,
That's dope.
yeah, I'll do a lot of things on the side. I also resell a lot of stuff. So I have like an eBay store. Um,
Okay.
I'll just recently started going to like thrift stores and red, white, and blue. There's like these other thrift stores, Goodwills, whatever.
Mm,
I'll try to find some stuff, sell it online. I mean, I do the same thing with
okay.
sneakers. Like, I'll put my name in for whatever shoe comes out. You know, if I know it's gonna make some money, I'll put my name in for it. Um, get the shoe and sell it. You know what I mean? So
Mm,
it's another source of income. Can help me save on a down payment for a house, and that's just kind of what we're doing right now.
that's dope. Did you always have this mindset that you wanted to be doing your own thing and be self-employed, or is it something that just happened, kind of, or was that always a mindset of yours?
It it happened after realizing that you know you're replaceable to a lot of companies. You know, I
Mm,
I don't like feeling that way. Um,
mm,
and now I'm just like, I need to do something on my own. Like, I want to do something on my own. So I'm trying to like build a plan. YouTube is one source. I'm like, that could be something. Photography can be something.
mm,
Reselling could be something. Um, Real estate, something else. So like, I'm dipping into a lot of hats. And it's hard to stay consistent, but as long as my mind's set on something, I always end up doing it.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
yeah.
hopefully, I can get something really started, something really set in stone. Like I wanted to start like a, like I said before, the whole real estate photography thing. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
that's something that's definitely doable. Reaching out, cold calling people, um, going to open houses on the weekend and saying, hey, like, do you mind if I shoot a video real quick of the house? The house is beautiful.
Mm,
Shoot the whole video, be like, hey, if you want a copy of this, what's your email? I'll send it to you. If you like it, we can work in the future. That's something
mm,
that
yeah.
it's like I know to do that, but I just haven't done it. you know?
Now, because of the COVID, or just quote unquote procrastination, what?
Yeah, I guess it's a little procrastination and
Okay.
I guess just the confidence building, you know? It's just like, am I confident enough to
Mm,
do that? Like,
a little bit of fear.
yeah, it sounds so easy, sounds so doable, and it sounds like a great idea to do. Why the hell haven't I done it yet,
Mm,
you know? Um,
okay.
but like I said, I just got to Miami, so it's something that I definitely need to do one of these weekends.
Yeah, you've been there for like 4 months in the middle of the
Mm.
pandemic, so yeah, maybe give yourself some time,
Yeah.
but definitely do it. That's a great idea. That's a great idea. Actually, I like it.
Hmm.
And yeah, that's it. There's the sneakers, as you said, and there's the reselling of the sneakers and of other stuff.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I thought I just made the assumption that the freelance photography was something that you were doing on the side, but now you're saying that it's actually one of the main things that you're doing. That's
Hmm.
super interesting.
Yeah.
Was it when at what point did you decide to transition and actually make it full time, the photography stuff?
Um, like I think earlier this year, like right before the pandemic came through, like around March,
Mm, okay,
around March to earlier. Um, I was getting shoots. I was able to do some music videos, some a few other things on the side. Family portraits. Haven't done any weddings, but I've done like what do you call those? Like engagement parties, things like
the
that.
engagement parties.
Um, so I would do a lot of those things on the side because, friends would always refer me like, hey, I know a photographer. Like, here's Drew. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah,
so I would just shoot for a lot of people. They check out my pictures. They like them. And what's crazy is back then I would just use um, like filters that I would save. So I would just save a lot of time on editing.
okay.
Um, and then looking back at them, I'm like, damn, like I could have done way better. Like I could have done better and really put it in my portfolio. Um, so now I like take my time. I have different presets that I made myself. Presets were a thing that people were buying, man, from other creatives,
Hmm.
and I had like one set, and I would use it all the time. And it doesn't give you your own personality. You know what I mean? It doesn't give you your look. It gives you someone else's look.
Mm,
You know. And as a photographer, you want to be yourself. With your edits, you want them to be from you. Um,
yeah,
so after a while, started doing my own edits and my own presets, and just got better with it after that, and started getting more clients after I doing it. Started doing my own thing.
that's dope.
Yeah,
That's dope. Must be good, when you start doing your own thing, you get more clients, you feel more confident about it even more. That's
absolutely.
dope.
Yeah.
And a question that I have, because I don't know how it works there, but the real estate license, the one license works for every state, or is it per state?
Per
Every state you gotta have.
per state.
Yeah.
Yeah, per state. Um, I think there's a certain license you can get that works for a lot of other states. But Florida
Mm.
specifically, it is just for Florida.
Okay, so you're gonna get that one, the one for Florida.
Yeah, correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, that's dope, man.
Yeah.
That's dope. I'm excited for you and to see what happens
Yeah.
afterwards, man.
Can't wait. I think I
But I don't.
should get it by January, so we could touch base again back then.
Oh, yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. I'll ask you about it. But I want to be respectful of your time. It's 1 hour and 20 minutes. I told you that it would be an hour and a half. I don't want to take much more of your time than that. So is there anything else you just wanna any remark you wanna leave behind? Anything you wanna tell the audience? Anything that you feel like we haven't touched on that you want to
Uh,
in this final 10 minutes?
I feel like we touched on a lot of good things. Hopefully anyone that's listening that's into photography or into like sneakers or wants to get into sneakers or streetwear, um, do it for yourself. Um, buy what you like, and don't compare yourself to others. Don't fall for the hype. Don't you know follow the trends. Try to make your own trends. It's okay to if you're into something that everyone's into, that's fine. As long as you yourself likes it, it makes you happy, that's fine. Um, but creating your own path is the best way, honestly.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. Great, man. Great words to just end the session. That was amazing. Those great words. I'm gonna follow them because, to be honest, I was learning a lot about sneakers, and I was starting to um I don't know, pay a lot of attention to what other people are paying attention to,
Hmm.
because that's kind of, how my brain was starting to go like, oh, okay, people fuck a lot with this type of shoes, okay, maybe I should learn more about these shoes and stuff. But just you saying that maybe you should just stick with what you like yourself. It's good to have that message out, just so you don't lose direction and you always stay true to yourself and authentic to what you like. So thank you for the message.
Yeah,
Thank you for the message.
absolutely.
I hope everybody has listened to that. And this was today's episode. We talked about streetwear, we talked about sneakers, photography, real estate, and everything in between. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I think we have one more guest line for the next week, and then we're gonna take a break for the holidays because I don't want to be recording this during the holidays. I don't want to bother people like that. But I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Peace. Bye. And there. And there. And